So here we can see we have the timeout set to 60. And my Type-C alt mode is set to 2-lane. And the source detection is set to auto. Now the setup here is that we have the laptop on the left going into the USB-C input for video, and the desktop on the right is going into the DisplayPort port of the Corsair monitor. Now, with the source detection set to auto, if I try to go and change the input from Type-C, which it is right now coming from the laptop, to DisplayPort, the desktop has exceeded its turn off the display time in Windows, and so I tried to go and switch it to DisplayPort. It kind of tries for a second, and then it just goes right back to Type-C. Now, if I go and I change the source detection back to manual, let's see if I can switch. It'll say no signal even though the desktop is on. But now if I hit a few keys, maybe we see if we can get it to wake up. Doesn't seem like it's going to take. So it seems like maybe it's not connecting the USB over to. Oh, there it goes. Maybe just needs a second. Okay, finally it switched the USB over to DisplayPort. I was able to wake up the computer, the desktop. Now the problem is if I'm in manual, say I shut down my desktop, I want to switch it back to the laptop. So let's try that. Okay, so now the desktop is shut down. The monitor, we'll give it a sec to go back into standby. So say my desktop is off, my monitor's off, I want to switch it to USB-C to use the laptop again. So I try to press down on this button to bring up my on-screen display, but I'm in manual source detection. It's still stuck on the DisplayPort input. I need to switch it to the USB-C input somehow. So I'm trying to bring up my OSD and switch it. Oh, well, there goes my OSD. So it only comes up for that brief second. I'm trying to switch it to the USB-C input because it's on manual source detection, but I can't because it closes the OSD so fast, even though it's set to 60 on the OSD. So I'm trying to bring it up as fast as possible so I can switch to, oh, there's no way it's physically possible. So the only way I can switch back to the USB-C input is I have to actually physically power on the desktop to keep the monitor on. That will allow me to bring up the input switcher on the monitor in order to change it to USB-C again, which just seems like a very flawed behavior. So for the most part, I still just keep it in source detection auto. I mean, that's a better way to do it. To me, if it's in auto, what it needs to do is still respect your manual input if you manually switch it to an input, because what happens is if Windows times out the display, it seems to put the monitor into some sort of standby mode, and then you can't wake up the PC because your keyboard and mouse are hooked up to the monitor, which seems to be the whole purpose of having that USB hub built into it, is that you can switch them between the two inputs. But that behavior does not really work in an ideal manner.